On July the 6th, 1996, Tuomas Holopainen, probably pronounced wrong, who had been a keyboard player for several metal bands, was sat around a campfire with some friends and decided to do a new project which had a more acoustic/folk feel and, quotes, not metal at all, and definitely with a female lead singer. So nearly 30 years later, they still have acoustic instruments, but they have become symphonic metal. They are the third best-selling Finnish musical act ever, and in 2024 they have just released their 10th album. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 10th album by Nightwish, and this is a new release review. So most of the reviews on this channel are of albums that are listed in the acclaimed music 3000 greatest albums of all time. And I'm working my way up from 3,000 upwards. I'm approaching 900 through, so it's taken me 2.5 years so far. It's going to be a long haul to get through them all if I ever manage it. But occasionally I step off that list, and one of the reasons that I do is to review new releases. And it seems like sporadically every now and then I go and have a look and see what new releases there have been or there are coming up, and kind of highlight some that I might want to do reviews of. And this one caught my eye, as it's Nightwish, who are a band that I've come across in some of my wanderings in the past. I've actually got quite a few on a list to do fairly quickly, so there might be a few more of these new releases coming into my channel over the next couple of weeks or so. Right, so let's get on to this album. So Nightwish, I became aware of them on one of my excursions into my random looking around at various things that are around. So I can't remember exactly what I was looking for or what I was looking into at this point. It could have been prog metal, it could have been metal, it could have been potentially pagan metal, or it could have been folk metal or something else like that. But I've certainly come across them before. And this album, newly out, I would describe as symphonic metal in the truest sense of the word, in that there's a full orchestra and there are two choirs involved, a kind of an adult choir and a children's choir. So this is, I would say, the sound that 80s symphonic metal bands wanted when they. So symphonic metal kind of came out around then, I would say, and I've always got this fact checking going on in my head when I'm talking, and I'm kind of throwing that in as I think that's the case, and if I'm wrong, please do correct me by leaving a comment. But they tended to use keyboard sounds with big string pad sounds and things like that. Well, this has got that kind of feel to it, but it's bigger, it's huger because it's got the real deal. It's got a real orchestra, and it's a vast, huge sound. It's expansive and it's impressive, and it's quite a lot to take in at times. So there's bits of it that sound fairly orchestral. There's bits that sound choral. There's bits that sound almost classical. There's bits with kind of metal mixed in there, and then there's bits with folk in. So especially what I think as being Celtic folk, there's the sound of Uilleann pipes. There's whistles. There's a boran. There's a bouzouki, and one of their newer members apparently in the band is their kind of Celtic folk instrument player. Um, it's an impressive piece of work. There's lots of sounds in here, and it's nicely put together. But it is grand, and some people will be put off by that because I know some people find this sort of thing overly pretentious or just too much. So far, I've avoided the word prog, and I think that there are elements of prog that maybe it could be accused of being prog because it's got that kind of grandness of scale. And I'm going to keep going on about the size of this, but it's definitely rock with metal elements, despite the orchestral stuff. At times, it sounds like a soundtrack for a grand fantasy film. It wouldn't be at a place being played for something like, Lord of the Rings, something set in New Zealand. But also, Viking kind of stuff or that sort of thing. It's got that kind of cinematic feel to it. Well, let's talk about the lead vocals. So this is, I'm trying to remember her name, Fleur Jansen. Um, and I've got it written here, Flor Jansen, and she's almost operatic at times, and she's got a really big range and good expression. She's actually quite a powerful presence. And I went and had a quick look at little bits of videos and bits of video of them playing live. And she's this leather-clad Valkyrie. She's got this huge presence to her. And a great voice. I would say a very good voice. It kind of scratches for me the Evanescence itch, which is the kind of the metal with the female lead, which I have come across in other places as well, and I generally like. Um, Songs are about, well, I don't really know. It feels like kind of creative fantasy stuff. There's at least one track that seems to be about some kind of Armageddon thing going on. Holopainen, who's the kind of central character, has characterized the album as exploring themes of humanism, history, and their inspirations. And I would say, unusually for metal, it's got a yes-like positivity. When I say yes, I mean the band yes. Not quite as the universe is brilliant and everything is amazing in a new agey kind of way as Yes are, but somewhat in that direction, definitely. So, did I enjoy it? Yes, actually, a lot. There's a lot to dig into here. It's complex and rich. I'm probably going to listen to this several more times. I'm going to reference another act. If you know Arian and you've not encountered Nightwish before, then you'll probably like this. I kept kind of referencing Arian in my head, who's a metal guy from Dutch who's done these really grand story-based albums. And I think I'm going to have to admit in the end that really it does fit under the prog banner as well as being metal and symphonic. So it's symphonic metal prog. Um, so yeah, I really liked it. I'd love to know what you think of this album, what your first impressions of it are. Obviously, it's fairly newly out, so please do share by leaving a comment down in the comments box somewhere down there. And that's it from me for now.
Take shelter, skies are humming, Armageddon second.